What's up, guys? I'm Wyatt Garland.
Brianna Marshall.
Colton Cruz.
And we're really hyped for JoJo, obviously.
Yeah.
We're in the precipice, the very start of this most recent season, Golden Wind, and that just got us thinking about what we love about JoJo and all that stuff.
And the opening of Golden Wind is so different. It had us really looking back at the openings that are in previous JoJo's.
Exactly, because all of those openings exactly are world class, and nothing against Golden Wind. Music is hype.
Oh my god.
However,
the art is sparse in comparison to all the things. It's a lot of flat or like abstract kind of backgrounds.
Where normally we understand JoJo openings to be
very detailed.
More than that,
incredibly
exactly.
detailed.
It's sort of like a a gushing of what makes this season important and what makes JoJo important, and I figured we should start with the very first one, so we're gonna piece by piece go through the first opening
Phantom Blood.
of JoJo ever, and talk about what makes a JoJo OP a JoJo OP.
True.
Exactly, and I will 100% say right now too, you and I both read some of the manga of JoJo before any JoJo anime came out.
I've read none.
Okay. And for me, I know watching the first 2 episodes of Phantom Blood and then seeing the opening was it for me. Like that, I was like, this is a masterpiece already, and I've seen 2 episodes. So,
for me, my first impression was right. I think you told me to see something, or I felt like, oh, let's watch it, and I saw the opening, and I didn't even the start of the opening. I'm a comic artist. Are you kidding me? I was electrified by being showcased this many various characters and the music. They didn't even get to the JoJo part, and I was like, this is incredible. I'm hooked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started.
Yeah.
What was your first impression?
Honestly, it's kind of the same like with how we're watching Golden Wind right now. It's just after you see each episode, I'm still getting more and more intrigued with the the opening. So with Phantom Blood, it's like I watched every episode, and then as I'm looking at the opening more and more, I'm like,
more and more of the story makes sense in the context.
It kept getting unfolded for you, and
that's it. I mean, as we'll see with Phantom Blood here, it's the entire story of Phantom Blood in the opening. But yeah, let's get started.
Okay.
So obviously we start here with the manga panels. We literally flash from Jolene to Giorno to Josuke, Jotaro, Jonathan, and then to Joseph and then Jonathan.
Yeah.
So the first thing, obviously, the opening is trying to tell us there's history here, all right, and we're delving to the beginning of something that is a much larger story.
Exactly. It also it has like you were saying, because we were just thinking about this. So they're gonna go all the way to Jolene, and they might stop there, and this is even just this indication, no, we're probably just gonna do these ones, this bloodline, this focus, and they're just so honest about that.
Well, the cool thing about this is that they're all still the panels, so it's like when it comes to Jonathan, it comes to life.
It shows such reverence for the source material to the manga. It really is hey, manga fans of JoJo, please trust us. We're trying to do it the best job that we can.
You know, this Bible, we're gonna aspire to bring it to life. And a lot of other series, really try to make their mark, try to make the anime different, try to say something different. I mean, as we go through the opening, you'll see never once do they pull back from the manga-esque drawing style. Never once do they say, no, this is all about bringing the manga to life, even in the surreal quality of the computer animated.
So we have Jonathan coming to life, literally bursting the JoJo letters into the frame with flame and
colors and everything.
And we're coming down this dark tunnel, and it's flat. Again, it's still juddering back and forth between the manga
panels
and the anime. Exactly.
It's reminding you.
And then as we hit the end of the tunnel, which reminds me of the bad hallway, which is where they fight
the Ripper.
The Ripper, which is the worst part of the JoJo manga. It's what turned Wyatt and I off of it because it was long and kind of fell apart when he finally fights the Night Brothers. So I like that we get out of that hallway and we burst immediately into the mansion, and we'll spend the rest of the opening in the mansion completely.
And we see bursting into his life, Dio.
Bursting into Jonathan's life is Dio, and he's looking up at Jonathan's life through crisscross stairs.
Yeah, immediately
which is awesome. Even the swish lines they did there to make that transition. I'll go back to it real quick. are crossing literally back and forth.
Yeah. The perspective is there. There's so much.
Their lives are intertwined and crossing.
And then we get the spinning, and the idea here is just like the turbulence that's going to happen. Especially with
it's building up.
Yeah, all the tension. These are all the tension moments. The statue moment, the mask moment,
held aloft, being looked up at again. Same thing with the knife.
And it's all for the love. Like this is the perspective of Jonathan.
This is Jonathan's life. This is what he has going on.
This love story.
And this love story he has is completely
just flipped upside down,
around and ruined by Dio entering the life and causing chaos.
Yeah, like every time Dio comes into the screen, you can just see everything is flipped.
And things literally go topsy-turvy for Jonathan.
The shot starts upside down after the kiss, absolutely. And then he comes roaring up to...
And he punches, he fights
back.
Dio.
Yeah, exactly. And the blood gets poured, and then now we're starting the conflict, and now we go deeper into it.
And again, even from that punch, we went from a kind of beautifully CGI modeled shot to like a dark, more kind of obfuscated shot with that mask getting all glowy like that. And then
the purple goes right into the gunshots.
And that's the thing, but when we go back to these bullets, which are again beautifully rendered in 3D, but as they cross screen and come back to Dio's side, which is again we're kind of flipping to frame side that Dio started on, which is the enemy side, you know, that right side of the frame. But it goes into him, and then we get this darkening, you know, kind of like more abstract art piece here.
Exactly, and then
of course, like we said, flipping around again.
Yeah, we see his life ruined by
once
this
again
event.
Dio.
Exactly, and the glass comes down violently, and it's over in a flash. But then the journey really starts.
Yeah, Jonathan is now pointed towards the sun. He's on his way up, and in the same way,
it's beautiful.
Dio is walking his way out of hell.
Exactly.
And if you look at these
this is great.
These sound effect lines here, these are the hero-like floss sounds that they give to all of the JoJos in the rest of the series as their like heroic moments of like preparing their stands or their abilities.
That's not the
that's not the menacing sound. So like Dio finally has his moment of like triumph in this scene where he's walking out of hell.
And it's so interesting because this opening is using elements to say what we're talking about, but they're not necessarily, like, they're elements from the story, but they're using them out of context or in different contexts to talk about what the series means. It's, say, an entirely new message, which is why this OP is so great. But yeah, the walking up from hell.
Which is also the most badass fucking thing in the entire scene.
I remember, like, when we showed one of our friends this, because he was like, oh, a vampire, okay. But then when that scene happens, he's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm like,
he doesn't like magic tippy tap his like feet up there. He brute force walks up
walks
a wall.
Up the wall.
He is anime Dracula. That's what I was trying to explain to him. It's like, no, he isn't just a vampire. Like, this is, he is asserting a new evil. Like that.
But it's also interesting too, because like as you look at the perspective of Jonathan and Dio, like with him pointing up, that's his way. It's like, okay, this is how I'm going to. This is how I'm going to like rise up. This is my way of going to victory.
That's how he's going to better himself.
While with Dio, he's literally just like, no, I'll just take it easy and just literally walk up.
Yeah. He has a path that he can just, he's just going to walk through it. Exactly. He doesn't, his path is arduous, however, it is a path. Jonathan has to forge a path. He does not have one laid out.
Dio's path is one of destruction. Whether
he's walking through the mansion.
Exactly.
His life.
Not only and he's leaving destruction in his wake, and he's fine with that. Like this mansion became, even just in this small opening, just as much Dio's home as it was Jonathan's. But he doesn't care that it's destroyed.
Right. He'll walk through it. Exactly. To, you know.
And literally demanding sacrifice, and he comes in with the knife and stabs. Like, that's the line in the song.
And then we get...
Like
we get Dio's entire life, exactly. And this goes back to the duality between Jonathan and Dio. Like, this story is about both of these characters.
Yeah, and then just sort of the triumph that Dio feels when he needs to sort of, like, go to the next level.
And darkness spreading across the mansion's land. Again, like, we're still in the mansion, even though it looks like that's a painting behind her in the mansion.
Exactly,
so
and all the life is pulled from her as she looks to the right, Dio's side. But then, you know, guess who comes up to save the day?
Yeah, and we go up through the smoke, just like we're going to do in Stand Proud, looking up the stairs, just like we're going to do in Stand Proud, literally squaring our shoulders up the stairs like we're going to do in Stand Proud. The drums are going out of control here, but Jonathan is composed. He takes his breath, and he's going to take his slow jaunt up the stairs before he gains momentum.
And then you were talking about the imagery here. As he's going up behind him and along his journey, we see this...
sort of like the color palettes that we see throughout JoJo.
We see
these are going to be the characters that we are introduced to, kind of.
Yeah, we get those Zappelli squares. It's the same thing like a stained glass window, which are also Speedwagon's hat, which it all kind of like flows into what Caesar and the imagery that we're going to get throughout the entire series.
They've been behind him, part of it the whole time, the good other people, but they're also here with him going up. And then he gets faster and faster.
And he's breathing in this whole time getting ready for this punch.
Exactly. And the breathing leads to the flames. Exactly, because his passion explodes.
Again, we flip upside down, headed on our path to Dio.
The king of the underworld.
Yeah, and now we're at the menacing sound effect.
Now it's become... Now he's finished his journey down, or rather up, and then we go through the eye, and that's the thing. We go through the eye of the mask. We look at specifically the conflict caused by the mask, which was all of this. I mean, Dio had his own ambitions outside of the mask. The mask is what made this story...
Yeah, it was a tool. It was a... Yeah.
It was what made the story, what is the word I'm looking for? It's never-ending, or just sort of like, that's what cemented it.
Well, it talks about bloodline literally in the song right at the same point. Not only is it the Joestar bloodline, but it's also the blood of this mask, you know, vampirism connecting all these stories together.
And then we go through all the tragic and moments where we're pushing energy,
looking back at each other, and then it's them opposed as children, and then them opposed as adults now.
Yeah, and Dio, this is the interesting part about this clash. It's not your classical cross counter. This is Dio having to endure or hold back all that Jonathan is throwing at him. And honestly, from the body language's position, from the shot, I mean, it's clear who the victor is.
Exactly.
Like there's
same thing.
You're not worried. Like you're like, oh.
If his arm was closed in and we were seeing Jonathan's back, maybe. But the way this is such an open pushing stance. He's not only pushing Dio away, he's pushing him down.
Exactly. And what's interesting is he's coming from Dio's side. Like, so he is now the person who's disrupting the status. The status that Dio had before where he was the king, now he's got to come and topple that down.
And that all swirls again. The mansion starts to spin around them because now we're not just talking about Dio and Jonathan, we're talking about the JoJo story.
Bloodline. And we go up the mansion, up even farther up the bloodline.
Because there's more room to go.
Exactly. And then, of course,
my favorite part.
Yeah, we come to the mask, which signifies how the season ends in the ocean.
But then how it continues with the next part of this story.
The blood is still on the mask. It's still going to, come back, and it's setting up everything so beautifully. And I mean, I've seen a lot of OPs, but nothing got me more excited about a series than that. A lot of times OPs are kind of focused on getting you ready to watch the episode. This one is... I don't know, it's making sure that I'm ready to, like...
experience JoJo.
Exactly.
Well, it's not even just this, it's literally just all of the JoJo openings. They're literally telling the whole story to you right there before you even experience it.
I was ready for season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when I saw this one open.
I'm already ready for Jolene's. Come on, guys. I'm just saying.
Hey, they do a little action right here in Florida, so I'm happy about that. But the point is, yeah, it's just so, it's such a call and it's such a promise. And that is so ballsy, right?
Yeah.
To be like, oh no, yeah, all of it. We're gonna do all of it. We're not even just gonna, that crappy like, oh, well we're doing this and then, ooh, we'll put some like cliffhanger crap. It's like, no, from the get-go.
It's like, if you see this in the opening, stick with us. You will see it.
Exactly.
Don't you worry.
They made good on their promise.
And besides, going full for this, CGI, like flashing back and forth between the manga animation, which is...
Let's talk about the CGI.
Genius.
Obviously incredibly genius and expensive to do. This is also an original song. A fucking bomb-ass original song they did just for the JoJo opening.
Yeah, we'll talk about... now that we've got the specifics, we can talk about the feeling and stuff. I'll get to the music in a second, but just one more thing. There is something so perfectly surreal about the computer-generated graphics, and maybe that's just because our perspective looking at it now, with time and blah blah, but it seems so unnatural to bring to life. It's such a great tool to be like, no, we are literally ripping the manga characters out.
Yeah, it feels like because the 3D models have parallax, so parallax quickly is the background's moving in a different direction or speed than like foreground objects are. But that gives them the ability to, again, like do that spin like they do with the kiss. That again, like you said, it makes it feel like, no, you've cut out a piece of the manga panel and pulled it into this.
It's surreal, and that just gives it this otherworldly quality, and that's really what makes, I mean, they don't use much of that. They do a little bit of that in the other OPs.
Yeah,
but,
in part 2 they do a bit.
Yeah, but again, it very much fits the larger than life energy that early JoJo is famous for. Anyway, yeah, but the energy of the music, oh my god.
Okay, I do have something to say. So I've seen a video of the singers of JoJo. So we have part 1, part 2, part 3. So we have Phantom Blood. What is part 2?
Battle Tendency.
Battle Tendency, and then Stardust Crusaders. So it's really interesting. I've never seen this before in like any other anime. So we have our singer in part 1, we have our singer in part 2, we have our singer in part 3. So when it comes to the time where Jotaro is fighting Dio, that opening is all 3 of the artists from all like parts. It's insane how they continue on the story. It's like we have like, let's say, the first singer, Jonathan, the second singer, Joseph, and then as Jotaro, they're continuing the story even as they're singing it, which is just phenomenal.
It's a trans,
again,
like we were
saying. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a trans-dimensional artistic experience. Like, there are people committed to representing each parts, and their musical styles are very distinct. The person who sings this one is, I mean, all in the chest, echoing, bellowing.
Chills.
You know, there's not even a touch of like grunge or like grittiness. It's like, no, this is almost like a ballad. You know,
but you always kind of get their personality too, because like with Jonathan, he starts off as a sweet boy, but then like when Dio comes to his life, everything is shifted around. So he has to like gain the power, and it's just like strong and triumphant, and you're just.
Justice, you know, and that's the best part is the amount of energy and weight that's carried in Justice, which is doing the things that have to be done, that only comes out when facing absolute evil. You know, like that's the justice.
And just speaking about Justice, just really quickly too, you'll see in all of these openings as we go through, when we see Jonathan's fist up at the sky, that's Justice. I mean, the symbology of Justice in all of the JoJo openings is the sky.
Exactly.
And literally, it is continue on throughout literally the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, no, and it just gives you chills, man, every time you see it, and like all the other openings are strong, but they are so focused on their season. Obviously, there's always a little bit of a tinge of connection, but this first one stands apart.
It starts it all.
If you want to get anybody into JoJo, you sit them down and have them watch this OP. I don't care which season they're watching, right? It's like, no,
you have to watch Phantom Blood's opening.
Yeah, it certainly vibrates the soul. So, do you guys have any thoughts? Or, I mean...
That's it, guys.
Yeah, can we get more of JoJo, please? I'm gonna go watch more JoJo.
Exactly.
Well, we're thinking about doing the other OP soon, so yeah.
Stay tuned for that. Make sure to like, subscribe,
ring that bell,
and come back next time. If you guys are interested in part 5, we're doing reactions every week to the new episodes, so definitely hang in for those. And we'll catch you next time.